Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me on today's call. This is Brad Lewis with Premier Marketing, and I'm joined today by Bruce Burak, National Sales Manager with Foresters Financial. And Foresters is definitely one of our valued partnerships we have here at Premier. So we thought we'd take a little bit of time today to discover a little bit more about Foresters, how they work, where they fit, and why you want to do business with Foresters. If you have any questions today, we want you to enter those into the chat box on the GoToMeeting website there for you, and then we'll address any questions you have at the end of the call. So, Bruce, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Thanks, Brad, and giving myself and Foresters this opportunity to really engage with you about who we are, what we are. If your cell phones are out, rather than put them on mute right now, go ahead, take a picture of the screen. That's myself and Miss Cheryl Gaston. We are your liaisons to Foresters. We are the people that you could reach out to. There's our email address. There's our phone numbers. We are on call, as all of you are. This isn't Monday, Friday, 9 to 5. We work weekends. We work all hours because when you're making money, we're making money. When you're doing business, we're doing business. And that's really the key part. At Foresters, we are committed to the field. I'm just like all of you. I was in the field before I took a home office job and went to the dark side. So I know the pitfalls, the valleys, and the mountains that you go through on a regular basis. At Foresters, for many of you, this will be an introduction or maybe a reintroduction as to who we are, what we are. We're going to be going through a lot of information in a short amount of time, but it's all worthwhile because what we are about is about the ease of doing business, about being more successful. I know that you're already successful because you're on this call right now, investing in yourself, investing in your business. At Foresters, we've been around for 145 years. We do business in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Some may say, well, your home office is in Toronto, Canada, so you're a Canadian company. No, we are an international life insurance and financial services carrier. As I said, we do business in the USA, the United Kingdom, and in Canada. One of the things that we can talk about is that we are domiciled in New York State. That is where our Constitution was developed. And when I talk about our Constitution, it is because we are a fraternal company. We do not have shareholders or stockholders. We're run by your clients becoming Foresters members. In the United States, we do roughly 75 to 80% of our business overall in the US. And we can talk about how successful we have been in the United States. We have a $1.6 billion of surplus. We have had an A-rated, excellent rating from AM Best for 20 straight years. Our future outlook is also stable. That there shows just how of a company we are, that we are financially stable. We're a little bit conservative in nature, and that mainly is because we're a fraternal company. But even being conservative, we have been very, very successful. Now, as a fraternal company, one of the biggest advantages that we have is this: we are not subject to tax. We do not pay state tax. We do not pay federal tax. But whatever we would normally pay in taxation, we must give the equivalent amount back as a benefit to our members, to member initiatives and activities, and to communities, giving back to charitable organizations, many that revolve around children-based charitable organizations. Now, unlike most other life insurance companies, we have a purpose-driven focus. We talk about our clients, our members, and their overall wellness. It's not just about the life insurance that you will give to your clients. It's about the full big picture, the whole wellness of the package. Last year, Foresters Financial and its employees, its members, and its partners gave back almost 1 million community service hours in assisting over 900 local charities. That was almost $30 million back in regards to helping out organizations like the Red Cross and Ronald McDonald House, the prevention of child abuse, and the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and Kaboom. We are very heavily involved in the communities we work in, the communities we live in, because not necessarily the communities that you work in is where you live. We understand that. We also have a granting program that we allow our members to receive funding to do something good in their community. During the whole COVID, we had a program called Caring Through Crisis. We invested almost $700,000 back into communities across the United States and Canada, allowing our members to give back, whether it was to buy lunches or dinners or treats for first responders, frontline workers, hospitals, to put games into senior centers where we talk about social distancing. We wanted to give back and do things that were good, a thank you as such, because gratitude is an attitude and it should be shared. These are the things that we do in the communities. Now, enough about who we are and what we are. I talk about our member benefits. I talk about it early in my presentation because I believe it is so worthwhile. I believe that in 4 elements, it is going to make you more successful by knowing how they work and how they operate. When you have a client and you sign them up with Foresters and that application gets approved and issued into a Forester certificate, that insured becomes a Forester's member and they receive these member benefits at no additional cost. Currently, there are 6 member benefits. I'm going to go through each one of them and show them how they work for you because they are hot buttons. They will allow you to be more successful. But most importantly, you're going to find out by digging in deep on these member benefits, they're going to help you get more appointments. Many of us work off lead cards. A lead card is just a name and a phone number most times. You can turn that lead into an appointment. That's what you want. And you're going to get more appointments by using our member benefits. You're going to get more yeses to what you're talking about. Why? Because they're going to see the value add that you're delivering. It's not just about the insurance, it's what else they will receive. And because they say yes more often and they buy into what you are giving them, they're going to keep their coverage on the books a lot longer. There's no use that if they buy something today, that they only keep it on the books for 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years. They need it when they need it. And most importantly, because you've done all this and they know what they're getting, they're going to give you referrals, free referrals, and they're hot referrals. A warm handoff is better than anything that you could ask for. And it's all because you're doing your job. But these member benefits, they come with every certificate issued. There is a caveat when I talk about later and I talk about the plan, right? And I'll bring that up. But I challenge you, the next time that you're prospecting, that you're recruiting, that you're cold calling, you ask your client one easy question: do you have a will? Chances are you may be surprised by their answer. Many Americans do not have a will. And if they say no, as you're expecting, you can ask them, do you like giving more money to the government and to attorneys? You know the answer already is going to be no to that. But many times they do, unexpectedly, because they've already passed. They don't know. But in the event of their untimely passing, without a will in place at least, they're going to go into probate. And going into probate means the government and attorneys are going to make some money off their legacy before it goes to the people they want it to go to, being family and friends. LawSure is an online document preparation service that allows the member to customize legal documents in a very simple and convenient manner. They can do a last will. They can do a power of attorney. They can do a healthcare directive. They can build an estate plan at no additional cost. Who else does this? Can you see the value add of just that member benefit? Allows that member to protect his family and prepare for the future. Isn't that what you would like to give? And that's what you have with the Forester's opportunity. Everyday money. because of the relationship that you have with your client. When they become a member, they may ask you all types of questions, some that you may not be comfortable in answering. It's not always about having the right answer, as important as it is to know the direction that you can point them. So therefore, everyday money, you're going to get asked, I'm a victim of identity theft. What do I do now? How do I put together a balanced budget? I need to make sure that I have money at the end of the month because right now I'm running out halfway through. What do I do? Everyday money is a toll-free and confidential telephone-based financial helpline in which the member, your client, can call in and talk to an accredited counselor and get answers to some of their financial questions. It's like phone a friend. How important would that be? And you now have that in your portfolio, in your briefcase to offer your Foresters members. The terminal illness loan. Yes, it looks a lot like accelerated death benefit. And we're going to talk about the accelerated benefit a little bit later, but right now, if your client, and it's only the insured in this situation, which is a Foresters member, is diagnosed with a terminal illness in which they are to die in the next 12 months, backed up by a physician's report, they can have access of up to $250,000 to 75% of their life insurance. Now, the main ideal behind this, because it's a member benefit, it is an interest-free loan. So when they eventually pass, we do not take out the interest that we lost by giving them their money early, by giving them their money as a living benefit. Yes, this was the accelerated benefit rider before accelerated benefit riders were around. Yes, this has been around for a long time. Now, if you have a product that has the accelerated benefit rider on it, then you're no longer going to get this terminal illness loan because the accelerated benefit rider is a lot better than the terminal illness loan. But again, it is still the opportunity for those that do not have it in place. We're very big about middle America, middle income, middle-aged clientele. You will hear me say this once or twice in this presentation. But what's important is we're also big on families and children. In the event that both parents pass away, each child under the age of 18 will receive $900 per month, and they will continue to receive that amount until that child hits age 18. They become self-sufficient, they get married, or they end up on one of our scholarship programs. And we have 2 scholarship programs. But this orphan monthly payment is $900 per month per child in the event that they lose both parents. Now, do we want a child to lose both parents and become an orphan? No. But we also want nobody to die. Unfortunately, it happens, and therefore, this is why we have insurance. It is about the whys. It is about doing what we do. And those 2 scholarships, we have an Orphan Scholarship and a Competitive Scholarship. On the Orphan Scholarship, if you lose one parent, both parents are a single parent, you can have up to $6,000 per year, renewable for 4 years, to go to an accredited university or college in the United States or Canada. Under the Competitive Scholarship, you don't have to lose a parent in order to apply. There is a application process. You have to have better than a 2.8 grade point average and over 40 hours of community service in the last 2 years in order to apply. We give out 250 of these $2,000 scholarships each year within North America, and they're renewable for 4 years. The key about the Competitive Scholarship, it's open to all members, spouses of members, children of members, and grandchildren of members. So whether you're working in middle America or in the senior community, you can talk to those senior age people about their grandkids, and you can talk to them about the Competitive Scholarship. So you can see those are the 6 member benefits, and they come with every certificate issued. and at no additional cost. On the application, there is a question: are you a Foresters member? It's either going to be yes, or you can select no, applying for membership. There is no cost. When you have that application issued and approved, and that person becomes a Foresters member, they become that member and receive the member benefits. Again, can you see how by using the member benefits, by using the hot buttons, you're going to get more appointments by talking about it? You're going to get more yeses to pitching the products because it's the value add. What else you get? They're going to keep it on the books a lot longer because they see the worthwhileness of having these member benefits. And finally, they are going to give you referrals because they're going to see how beneficial the member benefits are and who else you need to talk to in order to make sure that they have the coverage as well. So enough about our member benefits. And remember, if you have any questions, go over to the sidebar. There is a chat button. Go into the chat box, put in your question, and we'll address them at the end. Let's talk about product because that's really what you want to know. As I mentioned, our mission at Foresters is about middle America, middle income, middle-aged clientele. But we have products for the young and the old alike. When we're out in the field on a daily basis, we don't run into clients that want $500,000 and $1 million every day, but we run into clients that want $50 or $100 or $200 or $300,000 worth of coverage. And that's where we focus in on. At Foresters, that is our niche. Simplified issue, doing the ease of business, taking an application, running some data, looking at the application and the questions on that, putting the information into a decision engine, and giving a decision. The first product we're going to talk about is our term product. Strong foundation, non-med, and your term fully underwritten. There's 5 term periods: 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30-year term. As you can see, the minimum age is 18 across the board. The maximum, depending on the term period, but you can use the 10-year up to age 80. Wow. You can take care of your clients. And on the strong foundation, it ranges from $20,000 up to including $400,000 worth of coverage for those clients aged 18 to 55 on a simplified issue, yes or no questionnaire application. And that application can be done in paper or in e-app format. You would send it into Foresters. We're going to run an MIB and a prescription check and ID verification, and we are going to say accept or decline on that client. And we do it to a table 4 underwriting because we know that in the simplified issue, it's not always going to be just the healthy clients, and we go to a table 4 underwriting. These products also come with a number of riders. Some are complementary riders, some are additional cost riders. Now, and they're great for a lot of different opportunities. Now, when we talk about some of the complementary riders, like the accelerated death benefit rider and the charity benefit provision, we'll talk about them a little bit further. But I also inform you, once you get a point with Foresters, go onto our website, log in, and look at our products, but also look at state variations, because I go through this as a very generic webinar. So there are states that may say this can be approved and this is not approved. So some states will allow things. I talk it in a very generic manner. And there are obviously optional riders that you can add. Now, the Strong Foundation term product is very, very special. It's privileged for you to have. And it's a little bit different because it has very broader underwriting guidelines. As you can see, the Strong Foundation is very liberal in how it handles diabetics, both type 1 and type 2. Also very liberal in how it handles people that are suffering with COPD, that you can get somebody through with mild COPD as long as they're a non-smoker, they're on no other steroid, and they have no other major health complication. But one of the biggest advantages on strong foundation non-med is this: how we define tobacco use. Tobacco use on this product is defined as cigarettes only used in the last 12 months. So if you have a client that vapes, uses a cigar or a pipe, chewing tobacco, nicotine patches, nicotine gum, or any other nicotine substitute, they will get through as a non-tobacco, non-smoking person. How about that? Oh, by the way, it's also convertible. So therefore, you can convert someone like for like to a permanent product later on. Our conversion is this: the earlier of age 65 or 5 years left in their term period. And in fact, let's say you had a 32-year-old male that vapes. That's not out of the realm of possibility in today's world. They may want permanent products, but because most other carriers will classify them as a smoker, you can come in and say, here's what I'm going to do for you. I can get you into a term product today and convert later, but I can get you into a term product today as a non-smoker, because the way that this product works is that it's cigarette use only as a tobacco use. And so therefore, you get them in as a non-smoker. Now, as long as they keep that certificate in force for 2 years, for 24 months, then they convert it to a permanent, and they will convert it like for like, so still being a non-smoker. So where are they going to get a better rate? A 32-year-old smoker or a 35-year-old non-smoker? Even though we know as you get older, rates typically go up in life insurance, smoker rates trump everything. So therefore, the lower rate would be that 35-year-old non-smoker. Oh, by the way, because they kept that strong foundation non-med in place for at least 2 years, when you convert it, you are going to receive a brand new commission on the conversion. So some sales ideas as to why you buy term. Well, buying the most coverage at an affordable price. We know term is cheap. So therefore, you can buy more coverage if you're on a budget or have very limited expendable opportunities. You can buy it for temporary coverage, mortgage protection, income replacement, child protection, loan protection. And you can also buy term because it's convertible, the coverage, buying the most coverage today with the eye of converting it in the future. At Foresters, we have 2 permanent products. We have the Advantage Plus 2 participating whole life and the Smart Universal Life. Now, even though these products are really built on the same chassis, geared for those clients that are middle to upper middle class, 30 to 60, these 2 products are polar opposites. They are 180 degrees apart. So how do you tell which one would be best for your client? Well, consider this. Advantage Plus 2, because it's a participating whole life, it would really be geared towards those clients that want the guarantees in life. Guaranteed death benefit, guaranteed level premiums, guaranteed cash values. The flip side, the Smart Universal Life, because it's a universal life, it's really geared for those clients that are a little bit more flexible. They're more worried about the cash accumulation than the death benefit. And both products you can write fully underwritten if they so want, but we always talk about the non-med simplified issue. By the way, on both of these products, you will need an illustration. However, instead of using an illustration at point of sale, you can have the illustration certification form completed. When you complete the illustration certification form, when that application is approved and issued, we will create the illustration at Foresters. We will include it in their certificate package, and we will send it out to the insured. And because we send it out to the applicant at that point, we count it as being part of the application process. So therefore, we know that sometimes in the past illustrations come up and you need to get additional information, but what we actually will use is the illustration certification form, which is a way around using a illustration at the point of sale. The Advantage Plus 2 and Smart UL, like our term products, it's age nearest birthday. So therefore, if you're born January 1st, as of July 1st, because you're closer to your next birthday than you are your past, we actually view you as being a year older. But look at this par whole life and this universal life. You can write it non-med up to somebody up to age 75. And yes, we have a juvenile segment, so 0 to 15. So it could be used on a child or grandchild to give them a head start in life. The non-med. For the most part, it's $25,000 minimum across the board, except the juvenile Smart UL starts at $10,000. And as you can see, for those clients age 16 to 55, you can write somebody simplified issue non-med up to age 55, up to $400,000 worth of coverage on a simplified issue non-med, paper or e-app. And all that means is you're just taking care of them. They would send it into Foresters. We run an ID verification, an MIB, and a prescription check, and we will render a decision. Just like the term product on the non-med, we run it to a table for underwriting. So we're very liberal in people that could be accepted. Cancer over 10 years, diabetes, type 2, oral or diet, emphysema and seizures, or epilepsy and seizures over 2 years, fibromyalgia, no depression if they work full time, people that have mild or moderate asthma, an amputation due to injury will typically be accepted as a non-med opportunity on this. Now, when we talk about the Smart UL, it is a fixed rate universal life product, so therefore the interest rate is the utmost of importance. Our guarantee interest rate on this product is 2%. We are currently paying 4.3% on the Smart UL. That's very healthy, and it's a great opportunity. Oh yeah, by the way, they have riders that you can add on to customize the coverage, just like you do with the term. A number of complementary riders on both products, as well as optional riders. As you can see, one of the optional riders on the Advantage Plus is a 10 and 20-year term rider. That's a great opportunity there. And as you can see, on the Advantage Plus and Smart, just like we have on the term product, there is the children's term rider. If you have people that you're looking about middle America and you're taking care of them, and if they have children, add on the children's term rider. It's an extra $5 a month. Will give each of their children, whether they have one child or 40, will give each of their children $10,000 worth of coverage. But more importantly, it also gives that child this, that when they become a mature age, they can get their own Forester's coverage without proof of insurability. Again, they can buy their own Foresters without proof of insurability. That should sink in for many people, because that is a huge opportunity that you have. Because I worry about the youth of today, the things that they're dealing with, more than what we dealt with when we were growing up. And how are they going to be thought upon when they go through underwriting in 10 or 20 or 30 years from now, where right now you can make sure that they have some kind of coverage with the opportunity of making it their own later on in life. Some sales ideas for the Advantage Plus. I remember I talked about that combination opportunity, a little bit of perm and a little bit of term all in one. You can add in a little bit of permanent and then put in that 10 or 20-year term rider to keep the price in check. Because I may say I need $200,000 worth of coverage, but I can't afford 200 of just whole life, where I could say I'll get 50,000 of permanent and 150,000 of 20-year term. Now, here's the deal. That 10 and 20-year term rider, it's convertible. So later on, if I have more expendable capital, I can convert it into more insurance in my permanent portfolio. But if at the end of the 20 years I no longer need it, I can let it go. And that 150,000 is going to drop off, but the price associated with that 150,000 will also drop off, leaving me with 50,000 of permanent coverage. And by the way, you could be working on someone that maybe wants to take care of their mortgage protection and would write something up in that sort of fashion, and then they can let that little bit drop off, that term rider drop off, and they still have that nugget of permanent insurance. And that permanent insurance could be enough maybe to pay the rest of their mortgage, or could be used to final expenses. These are keys that you should be mindful of. Sometimes you got to put a round peg in a square hole. It's about taking that product and really maneuvering it or massaging it into a manner that is going to fit the need of your client. Some other sales ideas for the Advantage Plus: college funding, retirement planning, setting up a fund for a grandchild or child, because it has not only the death benefit, but also the cash value within it. So you can borrow against that cash value. Or if you're in the senior market, final expense, you have a spouse that's under the age of 50, because when we talk about Plan Right, which is our final expense product, it starts at age 50. Somebody under 50, Advantage Plus. Somebody in good health, they're wanting more than $35,000 worth of coverage. For the Smart UL, some sales ideas, because you want to keep it a little bit more flexible, but still have permanent coverage. Again, retirement planning, college funding, building up a nest egg, or double dipping with the focus on the cash accumulation, because you can overfund it if you so choose. And if you want, you can take Plan B of the death benefit and get both the cash accumulation as well as the death benefit. Now, we know that the primary purpose of life insurance was to provide a benefit to the beneficiary at the death of a loved one. However, times have changed. Life insurance is not just a singular fashion of giving that death benefit to the family. There's life-changing health conditions that now come into play. Think of this. When we were young, for many of us, when we were growing up, if we knew somebody had a heart attack or a stroke, we were going to a funeral a week later. Fast forward to today. We know somebody has a heart attack or stroke, and sometimes they have plural heart attacks and strokes, and they're still living. They may not be living the life that they've been accustomed to in the past, but they are still living. That's why the accelerated benefit rider, which is complementary on these products, comes into play. It's a living benefit available on the Smart UL, the Advantage Plus, the Strong Foundation, and the Your Term, on both the non-med and fully underwritten products. Therefore, in the event of a chronic, a critical, or a terminal illness, they can use a portion of their face amount to do whatever they so choose, as long as you satisfy one of these triggers. And again, it may be about asking the proper question when you are doing an analysis with that client. You could ask them, knowing that they are going to buy a term or a permanent product, do you believe that you will end up having a heart attack or a stroke, life-threatening cancer, advanced Alzheimer's, or being diagnosed with a terminal illness before you pass away? Chances are they're going to say yes. Well, think about some of the life-changing health conditions that may require you to alter your livelihood. If you were involved in a car accident and you're paralyzed from the waist down, how are you going to get around? How is your life going to be changed? But who is paying for what you need to be done? It all falls on you. So the ABR and the benefits, the living benefits, can be used to cover the cost of the medications and medical expenses. to pay off your mortgage, to put your family affairs in order, to go on a cruise around the world. It's your money. You can use it for what you feel right to do it. How about this? Do you like to donate? Do you like to give money to charities that you believe in? Well, how about this? How about if I could offer you a carrier that's going to give an additional 1% of your face amount, an additional 1% of your face amount, because your 100% is still going to your beneficiary, but 1% of your face amount to the charity of your choice in your name upon your passing. Would that interest you? Would that maybe sway your decision on what carrier to choose? Well, at Foresters, we have the charity benefit provision. It offers just that. An additional 1% of the face amount to go to a charity of your choice in your name upon your passing at no cost to you, no cost to the insured. At Foresters, that's what we do on their behalf because they are a Foresters member. Enough about our traditional products. Let's talk about final expense, senior life, the PlanRight product. We are one of the top carriers in this marketplace. Why? Because we have 3 plans: preferred, standard, basic. Preferred, 100% death benefit. As of day 1, it's the lowest rates for your most healthy clients. On the far end, we have the basic plan, in which if the client dies within the first 2 years on a basic plan, they will receive return of premium plus 10% accrued daily and compounded. In the middle, we have the standard plan. It's 100% death benefit as of day 1. But get this, those clients that are living with COPD, had a heart attack or stroke over 1 year, have hepatitis B or C, have Parkinson's, but can still do the activities of daily living, you're typically going to qualify for the standard plan. All 3 plans will come with the common carrier accidental death rider at no additional cost. If you have a preferred or standard plan, you will receive the accelerated benefit rider for terminal illness only. So therefore, if that insured is diagnosed with a terminal illness and they have less than 12 months to live, they can have up to 95% of their life insurance to be given to them so they can use it as a living benefit. It's a complementary benefit. Now, here's where I gotta put in an exclusion. At Foresters, there's 2 ways to write business. You can either use a paper application, or we now have Aptical Live app. On the paper application, our issue ages are 50 to 85 on the preferred and standard, 50 to 80 on the basic. Unlike the term and the UL and Par Whole Life, it is age last birthday. So therefore, if you're 85 and 360 days, you could still qualify for the preferred or standard plans. The paper application is used when you're seeing the client face to face. And you'll do a telephone interview when you are in that inclusion. Now, on the Aptical Live app, it is sort of a e-app format in which you are seeing the client non-face-to-face. You're doing everything transaction over the phone or over a vantage point that you're at, and you will log into a secure website, complete the application through the online service, then you will 3-way in to do a telephone interview. Now, on the Aptical Live app, the maximum age is 75. 75 on the Live app. On the paper, it's 85 or 80 on the basic plan. Now, the face amounts depend on the plan and the age. If you're a client between 50 to 80 and you have the preferred plan, you can have up to $35,000 worth of coverage. On the basic plan, up to $15,000. Remember where I said 80 if they are on the Aptical Live app, you're doing it non-face-to-face, the max age is 75. $5,000 is the minimum. Remember when we were talking about the member benefits? On the PlanRight product, if you sell anybody a certificate between $5,000 and $9,999, they become a member of Foresters, but they may not receive all of the member benefits. In order to receive all of the member benefits, they must purchase $10,000 or more. That is why the average certificate at Foresters is over $12,000, where the average policy in the final expense industry is closer to $8,800, mainly because of our three plans, the pricing, and of course, our member benefits. At PlanRight, the application is really broken into three sections: questions 1 to 6, 7 to 12, 13 to 15. 1 to 6, that's the pre-qualifying. If the client answers yes to one of the questions 1 to 6, those are the knockout. If they answer no to the questions 1 to 6, but yes to a question or questions 7 to 12, they may qualify for the basic plan. If they answer no to the questions 1 to 12, but yes to a question 13 to 15, they may qualify for the standard plan. And if they answer no to all the questions, they may qualify for the preferred plan. If you're doing a paper application, you will have to call in to Aptical. There's the phone number. There are their liberal operating hours to conduct the PHI telephone interview. We want everything done point of sale. That's why then when you send the application into Foresters, we say our standard issue is 2 days. But in fact, 84% of our applications are being issued within the first 24 hours. Now, on the paper application, the agent must see the client face-to-face. On the Aptical Live app, it is a non-face-to-face opportunity. And again, max age on that is 75. The paper application, the Aptical interview, can be done in English or Spanish language and takes about 7 minutes to conduct. The Live app Aptical interview can only be done in English language only, and they will go through the full application. Now, they're also going to be pulling an MIB and a prescription check, and they will be putting all the information into a decision engine, and they will render an eligibility for your client before you get off the phone, no matter if it's done with a paper or the Live app. There's only 4 rating classes: male, non-tobacco, male tobacco; female, non-tobacco, female tobacco. Now, tobacco definition on PlanRight, as well as the Your Term, the Advantage Plus 2, and the Smart UL is any nicotine product. Remember how we had the broader tobacco definition? That was only for the Strong Foundation non-med. How do you get a quote? Well, just like running a quote on most other products, go to foresterscalculator.com, foresterscalculator.com. One of the nice things on this product is because we're dealing with the senior population and knowing that many of them are not working, find out how they're getting paid, whether they've got a pension plan or an annuity payout, whether they got a settlement or Social Security. If it's Social Security or if it's any of those, find out when they're paid and try to align the date with the date that they get paid. So you can set up a preferred draft date, 1 to 28, or on the Social Security dates. The Social Security payout dates are the 3rd of the month, along with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesday of the month, and you are allowed to future date it up to 45 days. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Aptical Live app. This is the e-app process for the PlanRight product. As I mentioned, English language only. You will need a high-speed device, computer, laptop, or tablet, iPad. You must use the internet browser of Google Chrome or Safari, as Internet Explorer and Firefox are not supported on this. And make sure that you watch the video on our website before you do an Aptical Live app so that you are well versed in how it is handled, and there will be no confusion when you get a client on there, because even though many of us are selling over the phone, that we want to make sure that we take the simplest and easiest opportunities with our clients and handle them and be able to maneuver them through the maze to get their coverage in place. Some sales ideas for PlanRight: Obviously, take care of burial and financial obligations. Earmark a financial benefit for their final plan to create a legacy for a loved one or an organization. And let's say you're working in middle America, you're working on mortgage protection. Ask them about their parents because many of them do not know. Many of them would be confused. I don't know if my parents have life insurance. Well, because of the relationship you have with your parents, because they're called parents, you want to make sure of that and make sure that they have coverage in place. And then make sure that they have a will or a healthcare directive, which comes complementary with the coverage that they receive from Foresters. Do you see how by using those hot buttons of the member benefits is going to be beneficial to you? And the newest product that we've added to our portfolio, the Bright Future, which is a juvenile whole life geared for the younger clientele, 17 years and younger. We have 4 branding stages, 15 days to 4 years, 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14, and 15 to 17. Minimum face amount is $5,000. The maximum is $75,000. They can choose to do a pay to 100 or a 10-year pay. The owner is going to be the payer and the beneficiary unless otherwise noted. So if a parent or a grandparent or a legal guardian can buy it on that child or grandchild, it is not available in the states of California, New York, and Washington State. This product has a number of complementary riders, guaranteed insurability riders. So therefore, that juvenile, they can add up to $50,000 of more insurance on this product at different stages in their life, at 24, 27, 30, 34, 37, and 40 years, or when they get married or have a child, they can add more coverage. It's ideal for those parents and grandparents to give that child a head start in life. It also has the accelerated benefit rider for terminal illness only, and the charity benefit provision, an additional 1% of the face amount to be given to a charity of their choice. So if that grandparent is buying it, even though they're buying it on that grandchild, they could say, I want the charity benefit provision to go to my favorite charitable organization or to their church. We do not allow 1035s on this product. You do not need an illustration on this product. There's only 2 questions on the application, and the application, you can put up to 6 people on that. So if you have a grandparent that has 5 grandkids, they only need to do 1 application to take care of all 5 grandkids. If you're dealing with somebody over the age of 16, then that's when they are going to receive their member benefits, because it's the insured that will receive it. And if you're using an e-app, because we do have an e-app, you will have to use the email address of that child in order to make sure that they sign it if they're over the age of 16. Some sales ideas. It gives the child or grandchild a head start in life. They can purchase more coverage later in life with the guaranteed insurability. It's an add-on to a final expense or any other sale when you're talking to them about their children. And it really is truly a gift of coverage. At Foresters, even though during this COVID experience, we've had some enhancements. We have made all of our products available on a non-face-to-face opportunity. Every product that we have is available in paper form, but also every product is now available either via e-app or PlanRight by the Aptical Live app. You can e-deliver the certificates, so they don't have to wait for us to print it, to bind it, and to send it out. We can actually send them an email of their certificate. We have improved the Foresters Biz mobile app. And coming soon, later this year, hopefully before the end of the year, and because we've had some delays because of COVID, we're going to relaunch our Prepared, which is our accidental death product. At Foresters, when you get appointed with us, you have technology at your fingertips 24/7. It's an all-access website, www.foresters.com. Remember the mobile quoting tool? That's foresterscalculator.com. It's a quick quote calculator. For strong foundation, your term, Smart UL, Advantage Plus, Plan Right, and Bright Future. And if you have a smartphone, go to the App Store. Put in Forrester's Biz. It will pull up a mobile app. Download it to your phone. When you're sitting, because you've got 5 minutes before you're going into your next appointment, you can look at some of your past production, see if there are any outstanding requirements, or look how fast it went from submitted to issue through the process. At Forrester's, we are about giving you the best support possible. At Forrester's, we have a sales support desk, 866-466-7166, option 1, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. They are your phone a friend. Utilize them. You may not have all the answers. We may not either, but we can actually get you in the best possible place and answer them as possible. Submitting apps. You can mail, courier, fax, or use our secure email platform called Secure Docs. Finally, at Forrester's, we have liberalized marijuana guidelines. You may not want to talk about it, but 11 states in this country allow for marijuana use to be used recreational and medicinal. 33 states allow for medicinal use of marijuana. At Forrester's, the way that we have our guideline on marijuana use is this. We don't care what state you're in. We're not going to judge. And we don't care that you use. First off, marijuana to us is non-tobacco. So no matter what, if they're a marijuana user, we classify it as non-smoker, non-tobacco, and those are the rates they're going to get. Now, if they're using a tobacco product or they're a smoker or they have their marijuana and to make a joint they put tobacco in it with the marijuana, then that makes it tobacco. But we typically classify it as non-tobacco, non-smoker. Secondly, the only time it is asked is on our term UL and PAR whole life application. It will ask, it'll name a bunch of drugs and we'll say, do you use it more than one time a week? And we think one time equals 1 day per week. It's either yes or no. If they answer yes, it doesn't mean they're going to be declined. It just means they got to fill out another questionnaire. They got to fill out the drug and substance use questionnaire, which will ask specifically, marijuana, cannabis, how many times per week do you use? You can put up to 6 times per week, and we may still approve it, simplified issue, non-med standard. At Forrester's, we're looking to get the yes, not the no. We're looking to give more people coverage to make sure that they have what they need. And let's have a contest for the next 2 months. Just started September 1st to the end of October. Oh, by the way, you have to write it and have it approved in that 2-month period. But if you want to put a preferred date in November, it's allowed. So, written and approved in the next 2 months by October 31st, paid for by November 30th. Then we'll make the announcement in the early part of December and do a payout. There's 3 ways to win. We're going to go the top 250 producers will win a cash marketing allowance. First prize is $4,000. All the way down, 250 will be $50. So everybody can qualify. Everybody can be part of this contest. It's based on production. Also, not only do the top 30 win cash, but the top 30 will also receive an iPad. And then from 31 to 150, all of the producers in that category will be put into a raffle, and we're going to raffle off 14 more iPads. And then also the top 5 producers will receive a donation to a local food bank to give back. At Forrester's, that's what it's about. It is about making sure we give the people what they want and taking care of them. And I'm going to wrap it up in this manner. At Forrester's Financial, we are driven to share, not shareholder driven. It is about working together. It is about doing good. I know this is a lot of information in a short amount of time, but I feel it is very, very valuable that you have it. Why? Because at Foresters, this is what it's about. It's about having those member benefits, which are going to get you more appointments, which when you have that appointment, they're going to see the value of the value add that you are giving. It's more than just about the insurance. Because the truth is, if you're going shopping tonight and you're buying rice and there's 2 bags of rice and they are both competitively priced about the same, and one is 20% more, you are buying that extra big bag of rice. Why? Because the value add of what you're getting a little bit more. And that's what it's about. And they're going to keep it on the books a lot longer because they see the value add. And then they are going to give you referrals. Why? Because they see that the value add is just as important as having the coverage itself. What else they get and how many people they know that not only need the coverage, but need the value add. Reflect, learn a little bit more about our member benefits, and you will see that they absolutely will give the opportunity for you to make a little bit more, to be more successful, to see more people. When we talk about our products, our niche is really in that twice. It's either going to be simplified issue, non-medical, in which you take the application, whether it's paper or e-app, and it's the term, the UL, the par whole life, and you send it into Foresters, and we pull an MIB, a prescription check, and do an ID verification. And we will either say accept or decline to a table for underwriting and still have it at standard rates. Our rates are very competitive with the competition in the field today, and we give you the value add. When I look at the senior population, our Plan Right product is second to none. 3 plans, preferred, standard, basic, built into the one product. You can do the application paper or the Aptical Live app. You're going to do a telephone interview at the point of sale. And before you get off the call, you're going to know where your client qualifies. And then you send it into Foresters. On the Plan Right product, 84% are issued within the first 24 hours of us receiving the app because everything is done point of sale. And then we have the juvenile whole life application for those children and grandchildren 17 years and younger to give them a head start in life as a supplementary complementary application to other sales that you have to take care more of the family. And they can do it on a pay to 100 or on a 10 pay. And you take a look, that 10 pay is going to be the most incredible opportunity for the grandparents because they want them to have that paid up before they pass. And they're giving those kids a head start in life. And looking into the future, we're going to have the opportunity of the prepared, which is an accidental death. I'm looking into the chat box. I don't see any questions at this point. Brad, I'm going to bring it back on. I want to thank you, Premier Planning, Premier Marketing. Thank you for giving myself and Foresters this opportunity to talk a little bit more about who we are, what we do, our member benefits, our products, what we envision for the future. I know it's a lot of information in a short amount of time, but I thank you for giving me this opportunity to really fulfill the opportunity of making sure that everybody is fully knowledgeable about what we have.
You bet, Bruce. Thank you very much for being on the call today. You promised you were going to cover a lot of information in a short period of time, and you certainly did that. So, hey, I am into the questions section of the of the GoToMeeting here, and I do have a few questions for you that I did want to cover for these folks. But if there's anybody else out there that has any additional questions, now's your time to ask them. So we'll just quickly go through a few of these here and see if you can't give us some answers, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. So I always get the question, this is a common question about E&O insurance and covering for foresters. How does that work since you guys are a fraternal organization?
So as a fraternal, we still do require that the agents have E&O insurance. And in fact, when you're getting contracted, you can go onto our contracting page. We have a deal in place with CalSurance. I don't know if you guys have a deal as well, but we have a deal with CalSurance that must have E&O insurance, because the way we believe is that you're out there selling life insurance, you should have insurance on yourself, but you need life insurance. There's things that we have to that are mandated by the Department of Insurance that we have to fulfill. E&O is not one of them, but at the same time, we still feel that it's worthwhile for the producer to have that insurance on place and in place.
All right, perfect. And yeah, we do have E&O coverage here at Premier, so that would also cover for foresters as well. So a lot of great E&O plans out there. So, and then a couple other questions here. As far as this particular webinar, we did not record this webinar, but we do have all the supporting documents and all the information on the products that we can provide this to you guys. So we'll definitely get that out to you for those that are asking for it.
And once they get appointed with foresters, they can log into our website. And if you go onto our website, if you go into products, you will see a lot of self-directed modules that you can watch just to learn more about each of the individual products. Because as I mentioned, a lot of information, short amount of time, I'm doing it at a high level. They can get in and watch these modules, which would really dig down and get grassroots for them.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, your guys' knowledge center is really good. It's put together very, very well. Between the videos and the other things that you guys have in there, you guys do a great job with that. Mm-hmm. As far as plans that cover smokers, pretty much everything out there, right? I mean, everybody that all the products that are available have a smoker option for you?
Except for Bright Future, which is a juvenile.
I guess that makes sense.
Correct. Unless you're in Cookeville, Tennessee, which is Tobacco Road, I understand. But yes, all of our products are geared for smokers. Now, as I mentioned, on that strong foundation, non-med term, it's so important to remember the tobacco definition, because if it's not a cigarette user, that is going to be such a key for them, because they can get in, and it is a convertible term that they can use to get in as a non-tobacco user.
Perfect. All right. And then let's see here. So cross-border sales was another question. So if you have a client that's, for example, in Minnesota, but they come to Wisconsin for normal business dealings, is that a permittable sale? I know every state works a little bit different, but I didn't know if you knew that one for sure on that particular state.
Okay, so let's say you have somebody in Las Cruces, New Mexico, that's their resident, but they come into El Paso, Texas to sign up, and it's I believe that's what you mean by cross-border. There is a non-resident form that you would have to fill out, and you would have to disclose why you're buying it in Texas and not in New Mexico. And if you're writing it just because, well, the agent told me to come over here to do it, that's probably not going to fly. But if you say that you do all of your daily living in Texas, or you work in Texas, then that would work. But if you're just going over to buy the insurance in that state, it doesn't work, because now states are really getting very finicky in regards to the cross-border shuffle. Even though we don't pay state taxes as a fraternal, they still are watching us as to how we monitor and manage business.
Okay, perfect. Do you know Minnesota for certain? I know they're a little pickier than everybody else. Do they allow for cross-border?
A lot will allow it, as long as you fill out the non-resident form and you have a good reason as to why. So if you're saying that you live right on the Minnesota-Wisconsin border and you come in from Wisconsin into Minnesota because you work, because your daily activities, that's going to be allowable. If you're saying, well, I just went over there because the insurance agent has his office there, that probably will not be allowable. And then also, I must remind everybody that in the states of New Mexico, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, you're also going to need a fraternal license with foresters.
Okay. Are there any states that you don't have any products available?
No, we have every state has at least one. Obviously, with Bright Future, it's not available in California, New York, and Washington. And then the Aptical Live app is not available in New York and I'm going to say Massachusetts.
Okay.
But every other state, the products are available. But again, I also, caveat that by saying check out the variations list, because not every rider, not every benefit is available in every state on those products.
You bet. Perfect. Well, it looks like that's the close of questions for today. So Bruce, I want to thank you again. You always do a great job explaining foresters, and their member benefits are amazing, obviously, and your guys' products are just top notch as well. So it's a great carrier to work with, and a great a bunch of products to have in your bag as well. So we appreciate you taking the time, and to everybody else out there on the call today, thank you very much for taking your time out of your day to spend with us and learn a little bit more about foresters. If you have more questions or need more information, please reach out to Premier. Our phone number is 800-365-8208, and we'd be happy to take your calls and help you get set up and roll in the foresters. Thanks, everybody.